Hi everyone, this is Vemuri Srirekha working as lecturer in the Department of Computer Science at Sri Durga Malleswara Siddhartha Mahila Kalasala situated in Vijayawada. Today I am interested to discuss with you all about the introductory part in the software engineering subject. Before going deep into the topic, let us first consider the basic terminologies which are useful for us in order to understand the definition of software engineering. These are several terminologies that should be known to us. First of all, what is meant by program? It is an executable code which is used for computational purpose. So the program can be set of instructions. Those instructions are executed in order to perform some computation depending upon the user's interest. Next term is software. It is more than just a program code. Hence, software is considered as the collection of executable programming code associated with libraries and documentations, where libraries refer to pre-compiled code and documentation refers to the process from the start to end in designing the software. Next, let us know what is meant by software product. A software, when it is made for a specific purpose depending upon the user's requirement, then it is termed as software product. The next concept is engineering. Engineering is all about developing the products based on well defined scientific principles and also methods. Depending upon these principles and methods, we define the particular product and development of the product using the engineering approach. The next, coming to the definition of SC. It discusses systematic and cost effective techniques for software development. In order to develop the software, we will be using some systematic procedure with several techniques involved in cost effective manner. These techniques help us to develop the software using an engineering approach. We have already discussed the engineering approach in the previous concept. Now coming to the primary goals of software engineering. The primary goals of software engineering are to increase the productivity of the software, to improve the quality of the software product, and to give job satisfaction to software engineering. As we all know that users' interests keep on changing day by day. So, for that purpose, we need our software to be updated day by day as per the requirements of the user. For that reason, we need to always develop our software using an engineering approach. For that reason, we will be using the software engineering in order to develop such products. Next, coming to the software paradigm. We have already known what is meant by software. Now, the software paradigm is nothing but the steps and methods that are taken while designing the software. Whenever a software is designed, we will be following certain steps and also methods in order to create that software. That is represented as software paradigm. If you look into the diagram, it is clear that the programming, software design, and also software development are subsets of one another. So, in the diagram, it clearly explains us the software design. The software design represents designing, maintenance, and programming. First of all, we need to design our software, then we need to maintain that software whenever some errors or bugs occur in our software for further maintenance of it, and depending upon it we will be editing the coding part, that is nothing but programming. Next, coming to the programming, we will be involving coding, testing, and integration. Whenever a software is designed and the programming part involves, first of all, set of instructions represented as coding, and the code is being tested regularly. Later, we will be integrating all the codes related to different purposes of the software in order to get for computation. The next one is software development, where the requirements are taken from the users and the software is designed. Later, depending upon the design, we will be writing certain instructions for computational purposes. This all come under software development. The next concept is characteristics or components of software engineering. There are several components involved. They are functionality, reliability, efficiency, usability, maintainability, testability, and portability. Now let us discuss one by one with the help of several examples. The first component is functionality. It refers to degree of performance of the software against its intended purpose. It represents the functionality of the software, for which reason the software is developed, and whether it satisfies the functionality of it or not. The performance is measured here. Next component is reliability. Reliability is nothing but depending upon the period of time the software performance is measured, it is represented as reliability, a set of attributes that bears on capability of the software to maintain its level of performance under the given condition for a stated period of time. The third component is efficiency. It refers to the ability of the software to use system resources in the most effective and efficient manner. The software should make use of storage space and executive command as per the desired timing requirement. So the ability of the software depending upon the system resources is measured in efficient and effective manner, so that we use storage space for that software, and depending upon the timing the requirement of the user is satisfied or not is measured with the efficiency. The next component is usability. It refers to the extent to which the software can be used with ease. The amount of effort or time required to learn how to use the software. After designing the software, we need the users to understand how to use that software. For that reason, we need to allot time for the users in order to make them use the software in an easy way. The next component is maintainability. It refers to the ease with which the modifications can be made in software system to extend its functionality, improve its performance, or correct errors. As we have already discussed in the software paradigm, the maintenance is nothing but correcting the errors or improving the performance or extending the functionality of the software. These all modifications can be done in using the component maintainability. And the last component is portability. a set of attributes that bear on the ability of software to be transferred from one environment to another without or minimum changes. Portability represents the transfer of the software from one environment to another environment in such a way that no changes occur in the software or minimum number of changes may occur in the software. So these are all different components of the software engineering. Next, coming to the overview of software engineering. Here, if you observe the diagram, a software product contains several phases from requirements to updates. These are different steps involved in designing any software product. If you consider a software product as an example related to the student management system, then the software, whenever we are designing the software, we need to define the expectation of the user. Student management system must contain the data related to the students. So we need to define the expectations of the user for that software product. In the next step, we need to study the system based on the purpose. For what purpose the software is designed, and depending upon it, we need to study the system based on the purpose of the user. In the next step, we will be designing the elements of the system. What are the different elements present in the student management system? Student number, student name, student address, student contact, so on. These are different elements designed in order to create the software. The next step is document that sets rules for design. We need to have documentation for the designing of the software depending upon the rules. As if we enter an email ID of the student, then the format of email ID must be mentioned. In the same way, if we want to enter the contact number for the user, then the contact number of the student must be only integers, and the verification of the phone number, mobile, it may be mobile or it may be landline. So in both ways, the conditions must be mentioned with a rule such that the accuracy of the data is maintained. In the next step, we will be verifying and validating the software. For what purpose we have created the software? Is it fulfilling the requirements of the user or not? We need to verify and also validate the user requirements. In the next step, activities that make a system available. We need to perform certain activities so that the system is available to the end users. In the next step, the modifications after the delivery for correctness. It means we will be modifying the data in order to correct our software after it is being delivered. In the last step, we will be following new, improved or fixed software to replace the created software if the user requirements are not fulfilled and the user is not satisfied with the software product. So hope you all have an idea of a software product and all the several phases involved as an overview of software engineering. Now we'll be going into the learning outcomes. Whichever we have learned in this presentation, all are mentioned in this slide. So hope you have came to know about all the definitions of program, software product engineering, and the definition of SE and software paradigm, and also components or characteristics of SE with its examples and an overview of software engineering, and you can explain using any software product. Okay, thank you one and all.